Can I tell you something? I think I'm a loser. Well, I thought I was. For the majority of my life, I thought I was a loser. And that was because I identified myself with all the loss and negativity that I'd experienced. I thought that's who I was. So by what I experienced and through that, I formed my own opinion of myself. And I thought it was my appointed portion. I embraced it. I lived it. I carried it. It was me. More than anything else, I identified myself with the negative things. So much so that positivity to me was a foreign concept. When someone was genuinely nice to me, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to make of it. When things went, my way, genuinely floored. Never expected it. I always thought good things were for other people, better people than me. I thought we all get what we deserve, and if this is what I deserve, this is who I am, then I just have to deal with that. But that doesn't mean I can't help someone else have more. I want to see these good things, even if they're not mine. And I believed in that up until here recently. I took a turn in life that growing up I didn't think would be for me. I got married. I became a mom. I moved away from my hometown, not necessarily in that order. All the things I dreamt of as a kid but never thought were for me. Never thought were possible. I was even surprised when I got into college, despite the fact that I had pretty good grades. I just thought most answers in my life would be no. I got used to no. And the funny part about this is I was raised in the church and I've known God as long as I've known anyone. And I just thought I was supposed to suffer. I knew God and I knew Him limited. And I didn't know how wrong I was until God really changed my life. As it stands, I have already overcome more than I thought was possible for even the people that I thought were heading this direction, much less for somebody like me who never wanted much. I've struggled to accept good things and the blessings of God because I believe so intently down to my bones that they were not for me. It was my job to help people get them. It was my job to help people believe, but it was my job to suffer. I wasn't born into the most ideal of situations. I didn't have much. Some days I didn't have anything. But I lived, so I thought it was okay. I had never seen a positive and believable example of the life I wanted to live. So to me, it existed for other people. But as I grew up, I studied God more. And I watched Him do the unbelievable, the unthinkable, the impossible in other people's lives. But I yet wasn't bold enough to ask for it for me. I still thought I was just supposed to be a loser. That was what was fair. I watched my sisters do the impossible. I watched the two people that I'd grown up with and known my whole life do amazing things, and I cheered them on as hard and as loud as I could. It never occurred to me that I was supposed to have some greatness too. I was 17 years old when I joined the Army. I did that until I was 25. I worked as a correctional officer. I survived 3 car accidents. I survived a deployment that really I wasn't even supposed to be on. I've lived through more than so many people and did not see the greatness that God had for me. I survived illness. I survived mental illness. I knew God in the sense that I knew how to pray. I knew how to fast. I knew how to intercede. I knew how to be obedient. I didn't know how to expect the great. Didn't have a clue. So after giving birth to my son, the enemy, ever busy, said, you know what? I know how I'm going to do it. The one type of warfare I'd never conquered was mental warfare. He attacked my mind. And when I tell you I didn't have any idea what to do or how to come out of that, it's like everything in my mind was on mute. I couldn't hear God. I couldn't talk to God. I couldn't hear the people around me. I couldn't feel myself. I couldn't see straight. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't think. I couldn't even cry if I was upset. I couldn't even tell if I was upset. And because I thought I was a loser and I was supposed to suffer, I didn't say a word. I tried to push through that, but no idea how. I would try to pray and the words wouldn't come. I would try to think on God and all these negative thoughts would beat me down. My body was manifesting what was happening in my mind. Physically, you could see the signs of it on me. I thought that forever it would be my lot. They gave me medication, they sent me to counseling, and I lost me. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know who God was anymore. I didn't know anything. Until last night. Throughout all this, I still prayed. I still read the Bible. I still believed God was good. And that somehow it would make sense, even if I didn't come out of it. Last night I was in between sleep and awake and trying to rest my body when God spoke to me. I felt something break in my spirit. He said, you finally got it. And you know, got what, God? It wasn't so much about being high and lifted up, and it wasn't so much about being in the spirit all the time. It was about being faithful and diligent. The same way I chased that negative lifestyle, I had begun chasing God and didn't even know it. Every night when I would read my scripture, I would talk to God personally. I would talk to God about my friends, about my life, about Him. And He would talk back. Slowly but surely through all the mental turmoil, I began to hear Him back. My body started to change. My mind started to change. I could think again. I could see. I'd forgotten how to be happy and laugh. I couldn't even tell a joke. He gave it back to me. And then He wiped the fog out of my eyes, cleaned them, and said, now look back. I'm 31 years old. I'm married. Have a beautiful son. A baby on the way. No debt to my name. I don't live with anyone else. I'm not in my hometown. 2 cars. One for me, one for my husband, so we can both do our bidding. And just yesterday, we closed on a brand new home for us. Never been lived in. I'm healthier than I ever thought I could be. I can keep weight. I can eat. I'm finally able to rest again. I can smile. I can feel. And I can understand. We quote the Job experience to cite faithfulness to God. To cite how God is faithful to us and that we're tested and tried, but none of us expects to be Job. You don't expect to lose the things you have the most or the things you cherish the most. I lost my mother. I lost my home. I lost everything I had acquired on earth. And I nearly lost my mind. But before God let that be my entire testimony, he gave me the most amazing man I've ever met to be my partner for the rest of my life. He gave me a son who's proof alone how amazing God is. And I'm growing another baby. I can sustain life. He strengthened me so much when I was at my absolute weakest, when I was supposed to give up, when I couldn't say a word to another human being, when I didn't have words to say. I could say his name. I could say Jesus. I could tell him thank you. I could plead with him to someday have mercy and help me. I didn't know he was already helping me. I didn't know what he was doing. And he wouldn't tell me. He wouldn't show me until it was time. When you've decided who you are and cast your lots with only that, it's easy to forget that God is bigger than what you think. You imprison yourself when you do that. God freed me last night as I lay in my bed, just trying to rest. He opened my eyes, people. He made it real to me that losing something does not make you a loser. Recovering from a loss makes you an overcomer. And if the Bible tells us clearly that we're more than conquerors through him that loved us, we should expect to conquer. So if you've never expected to overcome, if you've never expected to conquer, if you've never expected to win, think again. Expect something different. This is the season to do the unexpected, to do the impossible, to do what no one says you can do, to do what you never imagined was for you, to do what doesn't even look like you should have it. This is the season. If you're bold enough when you're upset to do wrong things, be bold enough when things are okay to do something that may bless you beyond measure. Believe him enough to just try. The waiting is the easy part, and the trying takes but a minute. I tried medication. I tried therapy. I tried mindfulness. I tried all the things that you hear will help you overcome a mental battle. And I won't discredit them. But nothing has been so effective as when I tried these things and still believed God to be God and tried him even more. He had to break me to make me. I thought I was broken enough. He broke me some more. And with all that, I'm stronger than I've ever been. Anybody who works out can tell you after a good workout, you hurt, you're sore, and you're tired. But the more you do that, the bigger those muscles get, the stronger they get. So the more broken you are, the stronger you are. The stronger you get, just live through it. The more you can handle, just live through it. I never expected to be anybody's testimony, not even my own. But the fact that I'm breathing, the fact that I didn't have the tools to overcome anything on my own, or so I thought, is enough for me to believe God for the rest of my life. If I never get another blessing, and I mean it intently, I've had enough. Believe God for the unexpected. I know this is really long, and I'm sorry. It's just, I got so excited last night. Y'all told me rest. We'll do it in the morning. I rested. It's morning. I'm still here. I fought. I struggled. I was beaten, battered, bruised, and broken. But I never yielded. And as you can see, I am not dead. There's so much more we have to do. Sang a song as kids that the harvest is ripe, but the laborers are few. If you look out on the field, that's still true. I intend to labor with the time I have left to give back to God all that I have because he saved me. Give him a try. He's still real.